Asking
Doris
about me?
Wapi? Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
That is scary because I have no social media handles. That is scary.
They most likely saw that maybe on our platform.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
no need to be scared.
Okay, good. I was a bit worried.
Do not be worried.
Nico Hapa.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, you Sasa.
Yeah.
You have a question for her? She will be glad to answer that question. But Doris is a technology, a transformation leader, and IT expert. She is into the world of mental health. And we're just about to dive in this conversation. But before we can say so much about AI, Karibu. Karibu, Kenya.
Asante sana. I'm so happy to be home.
Yeah.
Oh, home is always best. So, asante sana. And for the listeners, thank you very much. No judgment zone, right?
Yeah. No,
This is scary. I've never been on radio, so just putting it out there.
No, you're doing good already. You
you.
are just perfect for
Asante
it.
sana.
Yeah. So, what is it that your life and your career is focused on, even as we get into AI?
So my career has never been a linear path, right? So what I went to school for is not what I ended up doing.
Okay.
So I'm a self-taught engineer. So I've built technology for Hollywood where I build cameras and lenses for Panavision. So if you've watched movies, we build those cameras. So I was in the engineering manufacturing department. Then after that, I went to Philips. I was managing global teams where we were building defibrillators for were used in hospitals for heart attacks. Then my last role, I was working for a space company where we were building technology for rockets.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm taking my corporate 20 years in America and I'm bringing them back to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using all that technology to form my Kijiji link. So that's my career. However, I also want to say anyone can learn technology.
Mhm.
The Egyptians built the pyramids. Do we call them engineers? They're just Egyptians, right? So
Yeah.
we're all engineers. We all have built something. So I just want to tell everyone you can be whatever you want to be. Let's not be defined in boxes.
Wow, that's powerful already.
Great. Yeah.
You can become what you want to be.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Do not allow
I'm self-taught.
people and self-taught. What does that
Self-taught.
even mean? Like you
I
didn't go
sat
to
at-
anyone's school?
Nope. So my undergrad is in communications. I did economics for my grad school. Then I did a postgraduate for engineering systems. But no, I just sit at a desk and read a book.
Mhm.
Then I'm the one who did the digital transformation for Panavision. They had blueprints or paper prints. I took that and put it in a system. I created all the processes. Just sitting down, reading a book every day. So if you have curiosity, you can go anywhere.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So when I say self-taught, even like coding, I'll just watch YouTube.
Mhm.
There's a lot of free information out
Right.
there. I
Okay.
asked a lot of questions. Yes.
All right.
Can we call it a day?
Yeah.
That's a lesson in that.
Powerful
And
lessons
Kenyans are
already.
smart people,
Yeah.
so I think we can do whatever we want to be.
I like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's quite motivational, I should say. Now let's talk about artificial intelligence. You're already using it in the mental health space.
Yes.
But generally, Frank says that some people are even wondering, is it still coming? Is
What's
it
that?
here?
A
What
hullabaloo
is it?
about.
It has been here.
Okay.
I think the internet, right? When the internet started, right? Not everyone had it. So that we call that Web 1. Right? When the internet came, si tulikuwa tunatumiana barua.
Yes.
Then it became email.
Right.
Then the second one was what? It was on our phones.
Yeah.
That was called Web 2. Then Web 3, now it's decentralization. So AI has been there. When you call Safaricom, there's a chatbot, right? When you go on the WhatsApp, is she called Zuri?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Siri. That's AI. So it's just computers learning. So AI has always been there, but now it's more powerful because now there's more access to understanding what AI is. So it's just a computer, you keep training it. Yeah.
So what is it?
It's computer systems that can think like humans.
Oh.
But you have to teach them. So let me say how I used it.
Okay.
So when I lost my memory, there's something called Microsoft Copilot. Most people use ChatGPT. I was using Microsoft Copilot, so I didn't have language. I lost my memory for a year due to mental illness. So what I would do, because if you look at me, I don't look like there's anything wrong with me. I'm always have a smile on my face. So people thought I'm pretending. So I started creating images, and those images showed how I feel inside. So if I was sad and I'm smiling, so I'd create a prompt and say, create this, but you have to be very specific and it answers you back. So if you tell it, give me, so when I started using it, I say, give me a Maasai man, it'll give me a Mzungu man. So, but I started training it. So it was learning. So it learns from me. So it's whatever you put in, it gives you back. So remember, garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
So as much as we say it's here and it'll change things, it's what you put in it. So what I was teaching it my emotions. I was teaching it, this is what I want to see. So I've created so many images, and through images is how I teach people. I create movies out of it. And if I show you that movie, it tells my story without me telling you, oh, this is what happened to me. So it learns from us. And each time you teach it, it learns more things.
All right.
So it's just a computer. Autocorrect. Ukitype simu. So it tells you how to spell it.
Yeah.
That's AI.
Right.
So it's not a threat, right?
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Everything. Yes, it is. So right now we have no policy. Right?
To
Someone can
regulate.
take this voice of mine, create an image of the picture that has been out there, and then act as if I'm the one speaking.
Yeah.
There's so many fake AI images out there. It is dangerous. However, there's no regulation for it. So there's good and bad. Let me say the goodness of it. So right now it's helping with detection of a mental illness. I work with a neurologist from Seattle University, and what they're doing is they're using AI to detect brain neurons so that they can be able to detect autism in children. So there are advantages and disadvantages. With AI, I'm using it to get research because I need to take that research. So whatever chatbot we build will be sensitive to African context. The problem is it only understands Western culture.
Yes.
So why do I say it's dangerous? If I ask, this is how I'm feeling, it doesn't understand our language. What is mad in Swahili? If you say I'm mad, what does that mean, right? So we have to be careful because language is different. It's built by the Western world. So I'm here to say, let's build for Africa. So we're taking our language and teaching that AI. But we also have to be careful. Do we teach it everything? Because we don't know where it's going. Who is taking our data? So your data is your privacy. You don't know where it's going. You don't know how it's being used.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful. There's advantages and disadvantages, just like everything.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, you say that it's how it's taught. It's what it is taught.
Yes.
And that sort of makes me worried because then anyone could teach it anything.
Yes.
And the receiver on the other end would take this as the right information.
Indeed.
Yet it was a malicious person who sat on the other end
Yes.
and fed stuff into it.
It's learning at a very fast pace. Have you guys watched the movie Matrix? So, okay.
Tali, did you nod?
So
We have a fourth person in the room. It seems
he
like
gave me that
nodded.
look.
Okay.
No, he noted.
All
Okay, so
right.
Black Panther.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Is there Wakanda?
Mm-hmm.
Is there Wakanda
Like,
in
is
real
there-
life?
No.
That's AI. So it's
Yeah.
all generated. It's artificial. It's fake. So how do we know fake from real?
Mhm.
So my hope and Kijiji Link is to say, let's make sure we label what's AI generated and what's real.
Okay.
What happens to artists? So for me, I'm using AI to draw. I can't even draw a tree. But let's say I use this with AI, and let's give the credit to the artists who really draw with their own hands.
Okay.
Right? So human has to be centered. I feel we're going away from humanity. People want to talk about their emotions, what Twitter, anonymous,
Yeah.
but they won't tell you face to face. So let's use AI for good. So what Kijiji Link we're trying to do is use tech for good, but we also tell you the dangers. If I go tell AI, this is how I'm feeling, it tell me, where maisha yako, you're useless, maisha, right? But it's not a psychologist. So it's
Right.
just trained based on what it knows. There's some things it can help. I'm not saying it's all bad, but just know that's not the end. Like when you Google your symptoms and the doctor anakuambia, oh, you have this. Okay, Google, it'll tell you all the bad things.
Yeah.
So now AI is even 10 times more because
Right.
it can find research so faster than Google.
You asked a question and I'd like for you to answer it. You
Yes.
asked it, but I didn't quite feel like you answered it.
Uh-huh.
How do we then tell the bad from the good? Because it's good, right?
It's good.
We can go to ChatGPT, for example, and get a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we know what is good and what is not?
Now that is the question that I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
Right. So every day we're learning, right? The same way it's learning from us, we're also learning what are the dangers of it.
Okay.
I would say don't take anything for nothing is set in
On
stone.
surface level,
On
yeah.
surface level.
Right.
Keep asking more questions. Look at your sources, right? Like right now, there's so much fraud. Mtu anakupigia na kuambia hujalipa hii,
Yeah,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
See, you guys always counter check on your SMS to
Yeah.
make sure it's the same thing. M-Pesa is using AI for fraud, right? To make fraud detection. So it just checks things much faster. So how do we know what's good and bad? Always make sure, ask, is this for real?
Yeah.
Counter check, ask people.
Yeah, so
Yes.
don't just take whatever information
Don't.
you get from there. Like, for example, when you say you're using it for research,
Yes.
then it means that you should not just rely on AI.
Yes.
Go to other sources that could
Yes.
give you information about
To
the same.
verification.
Yeah.
You have to verify, always verify. And also I tell AI the specific place I want it to get research, right?
Okay.
So if I'm looking for something with mental health, I say, go to the University of Washington, go to this department, find me this information.
Okay.
So it's based on the prompts you enter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Think of it like when you Google, when you say, I'm looking for this restaurant. So you're asking it a question. It's the same thing when you put in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
If you don't give direct instruction, it will give you so many options.
So it should not be open-ended.
It will be so open-ended because it's still learning. So for me, I was teaching AI emotion. I was saying, this is how it feels when it's this. So it's drawn everything. And I have those things where I share, and that's what I teach people. So it's learned what Doris puts in my account.
Okay.
But if you put it, it might not be the same like what I put.
Definitely.
Because I've taught it and I've taught it emotion.
Right.
But sometimes it gives me some answers. I'm like, hey, okay,
This is
I'm
not what I
getting
told
away.
you.
Yes. So remember, garbage in, garbage out.
Oh,
All right. I want us to maybe take you a little bit back because there is somebody Kule Mashinani. They're wondering, what's that?
What's machinani?
I mean, in the countryside,
Oh, yes.
maybe in the village
Yeah,
somewhere.
village. Yes.
They are not sure if they really interacted with AI.
Yes.
Maybe what are some of the ways they might have interacted with it unknowingly or subconsciously?
If they have WhatsApp, you know how you say WhatsApp, it says Zuri is here to help you. Unataka is it an M-Pesa? They ask you all these things that you have to pick, right? All these sections that you have to pick. Is it you want to open this? Is it okay? I don't remember all the prompts,
Yeah, they
but
have
that's
prompts.
AI.
Yeah.
That's machine, because machine is always learning. Or like this in manufacturing, there's something also called machine learning, right? So they've interacted with it one or the other.
Yeah.
If you call Safaricom, I'm sure there's no operator there doing the operations, right?
Yeah.
There's someone. There's a process that has been created so that when you're on hold, it takes you to the next
Something
person.
has been set in the system.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
think we're thinking as if this is something new, but it's always been there. It's just evolving.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
remember
yeah.
when we had our phones, the Nokia, everyone had a Nokia, but now it's an iPhone.
Yeah.
So let's think of AI. It was there. It was a form of it's the machines or the internet doing it, but it keeps evolving.
Right.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies. I can't remember those movies. Mumona Schwarzenegger, the Schwarzenegger movie.
Wow. Don't ask us about
What is that one?
movies. I don't know.
Charlie, help me out. Terminator movie. That's AI.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. all
So
right.
think of robots taking over.
Okay.
So we have to be very careful and center people. The more they learn, they're becoming more intelligent and they're being fast. And what is it making? It's making us not have critical thinking.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to get to that.
Yeah.
A part of the conversation. There is a conversation that AI is likely to take over people's, jobs. What do you say about that?
It's already doing it.
Yeah.
So I live in Seattle and a lot of jobs have been lost because now if you're a lower level software engineer, AI can code for you. So you don't need to know how to code. So now we have to keep upskilling and changing and understanding, okay, now people who don't even have engineering degrees are going to be prompt engineers. So if you're an English teacher, you're good at writing perfect sentences so that AI can learn. If you understand Swahili and you're a Swahili teacher, you're needed so that you can teach it. So people are losing jobs. I read an article where Microsoft laid off like 6,000 people. So now AI can even take notes for you. So we don't need note takers. AI can be there to help you with your meeting. It can send meeting notes. So it's making things easier in the workplace. So imagine how fast it's learning and how much even movies are being made of AI.
Yeah.
So what happens to people who make movies? So yes, jobs will be lost. However, the same way when we didn't have cars and what did we have? Maybe bicycles, donkeys. Then we had cars. We always have to be ready to change with the time.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe talking about that, how can somebody maybe integrate this in their career so that when time comes, when there is a shift, they're not rendered obsolete? Because I know there is a better side of it when somebody maybe integrates now AI into their career.
Yeah.
How can one do this maybe seamlessly so that when in case of anything, they're safe?
So that's a great question. And I can say one thing I love about Kenyans, we adopt so fast. I know someone who went to school for a mathematician. He was an accountant, but then there were no jobs. He started learning how to code. Then now coding jobs are not there as much. So now you go to cybersecurity, right? It's just looking at the trends. Just do a Google, a simple chat GPT and say, what are the trends? What's changing in the market, right? A lot of people now in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrency, right? Maybe you can understand how do you do mining? Is AI helping with mining, right? There's something called blockchain. Blockchain is a different way, which is used in part of in Bitcoin is using it a lot, but that's a different way of coding. So it's always educating yourself. The same way Kenyans were always saying, hey, what's the latest trend? If we can look at trends and understand, hey, this is what people are wearing, why not just see Google, what's the latest trend? Then just educate yourself. There's so many free courses out there. There's so many YouTube channels that you can teach yourself. The same way I was curious to understand, just research. Yeah.
Wow.
So it would be necessary for everyone to actually look what is evolving in my world, in my career, for example. And how can I gravitate towards, the evolution that is coming so that I'm not,
the other day I just saw a robot serving people
at the hotels.
Yeah.
They're already doing that.
And
so what happens to service? If now you're a service person, then what happens? Right? I think we're creative enough. If we just rely on the machine, then we lose our creativity. Then we become redundant.
Okay.
So how do we ensure that we're always creating and never stopping? So for me, when we Kijiji Link, we use AI, but people are at the center of it. I am going to the people to understand what do they need before I create it for them, not knowing what they need. So as humans, we know the AI will never have emotion. Never.
Definitely.
Right. So just remember, if I'm putting it in here, it will give you what it knows. So I'm saying what I'd really, really like to say is humans have to be centered, or it'll be like all these movies I'm trying to explain. You miss a watch. So so it'll be. It's the future is already here, and it's going at a very fast pace.
I'm reminded of this post I saw somewhere. There's somebody who just went stressed out. They go open up to AI, ChatGPT, and they're like, please advise me, what should I do? I'm going through this tough season, and sometimes it tells you I'm not emotional. I may not really understand. But I can offer you some help to the limit I can.
I'm hoping is whatever code we're building in this ChatGPTs, we know what's a language that we cannot say. We give it limits, right? To say, if someone is asking this, say, I cannot give you this, or I can send you to this person who can help you. So my hope is whoever is coding out there for AI, let's create language that can protect the human. The same way you want to be protected. Let's protect those that you're building for. But yes, because it can give you a lot of things. Like one time I asked it and, oh my God, I was just doom and gloom. Right. Or it makes you think you're this superhuman. Right. It can also do the opposite.
Both extremes.
They're both extremes. It can make you feel hopeless, but it can make you on top of the world. Because you've already taught it. If you're a narcissist, you become even a bigger narcissist. So it's both extremes. How do we center it? How do we become in the middle? But it's us having these conversations and seeing how is it used for good, how is it used for bad. So we need to be talking about this, and Kenyans are early adopters. Let's start having these conversations and see how we're using it. Like check out what Kijiji Link is doing and how we're trying to use AI to show emotion.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Doris. We have a couple of comments and questions that have come in. Let's take the business and then we'll be back with your views. 20933 is our SMS line, 0717 400 555 on WhatsApp, at Hope FM Live across our social media platforms.
The Corporate Hub on Activate. Your catalyst for economic growth.
Hope FM, another quality.
An amazing conversation on artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even understand how it affects you as a person? You know, how it affects your career, how it affects, your job, how it affects your life.
Right.
Do you even know? Talk to us, 0717 400 555.
All right. Someone just commenting here and saying we actually have a robot cafe in Nairobi. So, yeah. Thank you for your comment. Good morning, Apostle Ken Nyaga. Has quite a number of titles there. I salute you, sir. I'm always tuned into Hope FM. Thank you. I serve as a lead trainer. Okay. For Google Hustle Academy. Thank you so much for that. I'm trying to get to your comment or question. AI is about the mini model tools that can solve different problems. And he says, I'm truly inspired by our guest today. Yes, AI is here. When using AI, the quality of the output, the results is determined by the quality of the prompt, that is the input. Otherwise, you may get hallucinations. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your comments. You say you're inspired by the conversation. Will AI be regulated so as not to fully take the position of man? Doris?
That's why we're trying to have these conversations to ensure that we have to center humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have to have these conversations and we have to build very responsibly, right? Teach people what's coming. Mm-hmm. Tell them this is coming. How can we think ahead before it takes over? The same way the typewriter was replaced by the computer. How about we follow? Let's look at the past to inform the future. Mm-hmm. The typewriters came, they took away what? The big computers. And the big computers came, they what is it called? The laptop.
Laptops.
Then from laptops all came our cell phones. Now we can use our goggles where they can transmit, right? Meta is using that, right? So it's changing.
Right.
Things are going so fast. Let's see how do we ensure people are always centered. Very soon machines will be the ones building all. Right now they use, like in when they build cars, it's robots, it's not people.
Yeah.
So things are changing so fast. And the person who said about robot cafe, yes, they're robot cafes. So what if we don't have electricity? Then what happens, right? We need electricity to feed this AI, and it needs so much electricity for it, right? It also, let's look at, do we cut trees so that we can have these data centers? So there's good and bad. So let's understand what's the environmental harm. What is it? How will it take away from people livelihood? We have to have these conversations and bring experts.
But we don't need to be ignorant, right?
Yes, we
Because somebody would think of, to zime stima so that it doesn't replace us at all.
Yep, and you need it to see, right? It helps us,
Yeah.
right? As a person said, it solves a lot of problems. There are a lot of problems. It's helping with cancer treatment. It's helping with autism detection in children. It's helping with so much. But the day-to-day use, we really need to start talking about policy. So that's what we call upon. We need regulation. Rwanda had the first Black in AI conference. I wasn't able to attend that, but they're leading in that. Maybe Kenya is also doing that, but I'm not aware, but Kenya were leaders in technology. Let's start talking about that and have this conversation more often.
Right.
Talking about Kenya, can we see the impact of AI in terms of online wars? Because I've seen people create a lot of things. Is it a product of AI? What's happening online most of the time?
So I'll say this. What I've noticed is not everyone writes with ChatGPT, right? But how they're writing, that's how we talk in the West.
Yes.
So I can know Kenyan writing and how someone has used AI. So people are detecting that in schools, it's getting so hard because students are using AI to write the essays.
Yes.
As we had to sit there and write an essay, alafu unaambiwa umepata 0. Right? Now AI writes for you. So with when you talk about internet, everyone is using LinkedIn. You can see how people have written with AI. Because if you look back at how they used to write back in the day, it's not how they're writing now. So yes, people are using a lot of images where they can create images that look like you. So because there are so many AI tools, it's not just ChatGPT and Copilot. There's so many that create real life. And can even create movie reels that it's a real movie. There's a one in China, I forget what it's called, Deep. I think it's Deep something. That is it's more powerful than what's being used in America. So things are accelerating pretty fast.
Wow.
Right. Wow. I'm just wondering about the space of mental health. It's a good conversation because we're just coming from Mental Health Awareness Month in the month of May. So where mental health is concerned, let's talk about mental health in the workplace. How can AI be used to assist people where mental health is concerned at the workplace?
So at the workplace, that's very tough, right? Because we want to keep up a face and it's corporate, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I had my mental break in 2023. And I couldn't tell my coworker, so I lost my memory. I was in and out of hospital for 6 months, and for a year, I didn't know who I was. But for some reason, my brain still could do work. But my coworkers did not know what I was struggling with. There's so much shame and stigma. So we're dealing with so much stigma in Africa. We don't even talk about suicide, right? So we first have to change the stigma. Let's first even start talking about mental health. And mental health is so broad. There's autism, there's ADHD, there's ADD, there's PTSD. How about we start creating awareness? And that's what Kijiji Link is doing. First, let's create awareness and educate. How do you cope with this? Then when we bring AI, what are we bringing AI? To help with research, to help create emotional pictures, to tell a story without telling a story. How can the workplace, it has to be a safe, vulnerable place. For me, I dealt with shame for so long, but now I'm speaking the truth.
And that's interesting because you were in America.
Yes.
You were in the fast world.
Yes, but I was so afraid, and all the friends that I thought would help me, people disowned you because they just, there's so much stigma associated with it. It doesn't matter where you're from, it's still stigmatized. No one wants to say at work in my resume that, I have PTSD or I have bipolar, right? People will not want to be around you. Or if something happens, oh yeah, she's just moody. But what's wrong with being moody? It's okay to not be okay. We're humans. God created all these emotions in us. We're not flawed. We're created in God's image. So why would you shame me? At least I know what I have. Do you know what you have? So in the workplace, it's a bit hard. They have to create safe environments where people can go learn about what they have. But how can AI help incorporate? So what schools are doing in America, they have created forms or research. They're working with the researchers to use AI to collect data. So it's collecting a lot of data anonymously to see the trends. So if you see the trends, then you can create forms that people can fill out to see if people are in crisis. How do people look in crisis? We don't know. Everyone looks different. Mine, I look like I'm always smiling or I'm talking normally, but I was in bad crisis. So in the workplace, it's fast. Is it a toxic environment? Right? If you're in a toxic environment, it doesn't matter if you're helped because you're still in that toxic environment. It's creating a culture where it's open and where people feel they can be heard. So let's start with first creating safe environments, then use the AI or have a section where we can work with counselors to help us see how do we help people. I did not have that space. I don't think in corporate America we have a place where we can go talk about mental health. No. You just hide.
Okay.
And maybe if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, I didn't have a place where I could go tell anyone. If you go HR, they're the ones who pay your check. So why should I tell the person paying my check I'm sick? Right. So I just pretend I faked it till I made it. But when my memory completely, I had to walk away from my job. And that's why I started the entrepreneurship route. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But businesses need to start understanding their employees.
Right.
And remembering we're all human. We need them. We need the humans.
Sure, we do.
Yeah.
We do. What's the future of AI?
I know you guys haven't watched that movie. Tally, can you help me? What's the future? There are endless possibilities. No one knows. It keeps changing, right? If we ask the Egyptians what's the future, then they're already building the pyramids, right? They wouldn't know we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So no one knows.
Yeah.
We just have to be aware and continue being critical thinkers and be curious and then come together. Sisi tumesahau ile umoja, right? So Kijiji Link, we build under the framework of Ubuntu, I am because you are. And in Kenya, we say umoja. So we have to center each other and learn from each other. Like you giving me this platform to share what we're building. I'm hoping someone will hear about my story and we can connect and continue helping each other. So it starts with one step, right?
Yeah.
So, but let's not forget the pasts.
Right.
So I'm using the past to inform how do we go to the future. So let's always be curious.
Right.
But what's the future of AI? My goodness, it's endless possibilities. Endless. If you've watched Wakanda, or what is it called? Black Panther, Tally, these ones would not know. But for those ones who know Black Panther, that maybe we will live in our Wakanda land. But it's endless possibilities.
All right.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
Such a great and impactful conversation. Thank you so much, Doris, for coming. Allow me to read just one more comment as we wrap it up. I think the use of technology has for us to be put under checks and balances. Technology causes brain atrophy. Let us go back to being sensitive with what the Spirit wants us to do. And let us not be another Tower of Babel. Indeed. Yeah,
I
just
agree.
the curiosity that Doris was talking about. And let us use it in ethical ways.
Tech for good.
Yeah,
Yes.
tech for good.
And let's create policies. So I'm hoping that as Kenyans and Africans, we create policies and how
Right.
we use AI.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're creating a drug, you have to go through all the checks and balances.
Yeah.
So AI should be the same.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my hope that let's start creating policy around it.
All
And I
right.
think Kenya, I saw on LinkedIn, Kenya has created an AI policy. I haven't just read it. Yeah,
Okay.
so, but there's something out there. Let's go see what they've created. And we're the people, let's put out our voices there on what we want to see and what is harmful and what is good.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Powerful. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Doris, for coming. We appreciate your time
Yeah.
and we wish you the very best as you go on to do the great work you're doing.
Thank you so much. And next time I come, I hope you'll have watched at least one movie with AI. And I'll tell you, we'll make sure that these guys do their homework. But thank you all for listening. I truly appreciate it. And thank you for giving me a platform. Asanteni sana.
Karibu.
Yes, thank you.
Sana.
Yes, thank you.
Frank will have to work
so
very
tell you-
hard.
Yes, Tali will
Tali
be
ana
the
kazi kwanza.
prefect.
Before we think of ourselves.
He was already telling us the story about AI and
Yeah,
people
right?
suing governments for that. So
Yeah.
next time we'll ask them. We'll have a quiz for the
Yeah.
you two.
All right.
Asanteni sana.
Asante.
All right.
Yeah.
And this is where we wrap it up at. We'll see you tomorrow, same time and same place. We pray that you will have a splendid day. My name is Sharon Naitore Wangenye.
Favored Frank is my name. Bye-bye.
Hope FM. Listen and live.
It's now 9 a.m.